In a quiet town, where friendships blossom and time seems to stand still, there's Julian, a man who, amidst life's commitments and decisions, finds himself facing an unexpected dilemma. Julian and Michael once shared a passionate romance during their college years. Their chemistry was undeniable, but life and youthful wanderings led them down separate paths. Julian, with his cynical stance on romance, decided to end the relationship, although they agreed that if they were both still single at the age of 28, they would consider marriage. Over the years, Julian and Michael shared countless experiences, from adventures in far-off places to supporting each other through tough times. However, Julian always saw Michael as his best friend, never considering a romantic relationship. On Julian's 28th birthday, he receives a voicemail from Michael that alters the course of their lives. Michael has met someone special, and the world as Julian knows it begins to shift. He wonders if this call might be more than just a casual conversation. For some reason, the idea excites him. Upon calling Michael back, Julian's anticipation is met with a smile in Michael's voice. But before he can share his thoughts about their past agreement, Michael drops a bombshell. He's getting married this Sunday. Julian's world shatters. The notion of marrying Michael never seemed appealing before, but now, consumed by jealousy, he wonders if he might have missed out. Jealousy is a fickle emotion, isn't it? There's a logical reason behind this jealousy. Michael has moved on, and Julian suddenly sees him in a new light. As Julian arrives in Michael's city, knowing he has 4 days to stop a wedding, he catches sight of Michael from a distance. For the first time, Michael appears incredibly attractive to Julian. But right behind him is someone else, someone beautiful, charismatic, and, worst of all, kind. It's not hard to see why Michael is drawn to her. Julian discovers that Michael has introduced this new woman, Kim, to his family, signaling the seriousness of their relationship. In a moment of surprising vulnerability, Kim reveals that she used to be cynical about love and romance, just like Julian. Meeting Michael changed her perspective, and she confesses to Julian that she used to be like him until she met Michael. Julian tries to find fault with Kim, listing Michael's idiosyncrasies and habits that used to annoy him. Kim's response, though, unsettles him. She says, "I used to be like you until I met Michael. Now, none of that stuff bothers me. I became what I used to mock." Julian is taken aback by her honesty. As Julian tries on Kim's bridesmaid dress, he realizes he's running out of options to break up Michael and Kim. He's aware of Michael's Achilles heel, his unstable journalism career that involves low pay and constant travel to remote cities. Julian decides to manipulate Kim into pushing Michael towards a safer, more stable job in his wealthy father's company. However, Kim's concern for Michael's job and future deeply offends him. He's furious that this issue has arisen just 2 days before the wedding. Kim, trying to make amends, admits that she'd like Michael to work for her father's company. The argument subsides, but Julian is left frustrated. Julian turns to his gay best friend, George, for help. She confides in George, telling him that her future happiness hinges on stopping Michael's wedding. She believes she can make him happier than anyone else. The idea that her happiness depends solely on this one desire is something many of us have felt. Sometimes we can't see beyond a deep desire, and the thought of a life without it is unimaginable. George, ever the voice of reason, asks Julian a crucial question. Do you really love him, or is this just about winning? Julian is brutally honest, admitting that her initial motivations were driven by jealousy and possession. However, when she's with Michael, it's different. It's wonderful. This introspection reveals an essential truth. Sometimes our initial desires for someone or something can evolve into genuine love. The day arrives, and Julian must confront Michael with her feelings. She approaches him, but in a moment of panic, she lies, telling Michael that George is her fiancé. She avoids expressing the overwhelming emotions within her. Alone, she asks Michael what will happen when she reveals her true feelings. Michael responds cryptically, "You'll win. You'll always be on a pedestal, but she'll be in my arms." This phrase carries profound weight. Julian may win in the sense that she'll always be idealized by Michael, but Kim will be the one by his side. This reveals Kim's maturity and willingness to embrace Michael fully, the other to take the first step. They dance together in silence, a dance that holds unspoken words. Julian decides to seize the moment and confides in Michael that she's loved him for 9 years. She acknowledges her fear of love, neediness, and belonging. She apologizes for her past actions and tells him she wants to be with him, to make him happy. In a shocking turn of events, Michael is finally about to respond when Julian's phone rings. It's George, informing her that their plan failed and everything went wrong. Michael inquires about the call, and Julian has no choice but to confess that she sent the email that could have ruined his career. Michael is furious, but decides to set it aside for the moment. He asks Julian one last question. Do you think she still loves me? Julian's heartbreakingly honest response is, Of course she does. She's crazy about you. Michael decides to proceed with the wedding as planned and asks Julian to stand by his side as the best man. As Kim walks down the aisle in her white dress, Julian watches, her heart aching as she realizes she's losing the love of her life forever. She couldn't bring herself to utter the words that might have changed everything. After the ceremony, as the newlyweds prepare to leave for their honeymoon, Julian makes one last attempt to say goodbye. But the crowd is overwhelming, and she can't reach them in time. In a surprising twist, Michael approaches her from behind, hugs her tightly, and tells her that it meant a lot that she came. As she watches the love of her life drive away with his new bride, she receives a call from George, who has flown in to support her. Perhaps Julian didn't win the man, but she had people who cared about her and would be there for her. The director initially considered a different ending, one where Julian finds a new romantic spark with a wedding guest. However, this was discarded in favor of an ending that doesn't downplay Julian's deep feelings for Michael. It's a poignant reminder that sometimes we love someone who doesn't love us back, and that's just how life is. Losing one opportunity doesn't mean losing happiness. It's about opening up to new possibilities, relationships, and opportunities for growth.